Frosty. Get him.
Yeah, put that back in there. Yeah,
Oh, you can eat him.
put that back. Yeah. Grandmama say, I'm here. We got knocked out, Grandmama. Grandmama said she here.
Okay.
Yo, mama.
Well, let's get back on.
Yo, mama. Mama. Mama.
Let's get a whole nother phone.
I don't want to. Oh, yo.
That phone wild something wrong. You go out every week like that.
Mama,
Miss Karen said, we back. Yep, we back, Miss Karen. Had to get a whole nother phone and knocked us off.
I'm going to plus two. My coffee's all bubbly now. That sucks.
Okay. Is Georgia there?
Ew.
You on, Granny?
Okay. Okay. I guess we got back again, so hopefully I don't know what happens every I think it did the same thing last week.
I think YouTube.
Huh?
YouTube be knocking folks off for some reason.
Oh, you think so?
Mm.
Some way it goes off and I don't know. Maybe some people that come on there get knocked out, whatever.
I don't know, but anyway, we back.
Okay. Anyway, I'm glad you guys we got back on. We having a little trouble here tonight, trying to stay on for a few minutes. Is the minute back on now? Okay.
I hope I didn't lose the other video. We had a lot of likes on the other one. Hopefully it'll be on there. Hopefully.
Okay. Whoever's on there, I hope y'all have already prepared your 4th of July dinner or your menu. So, well, I hope it be nice and warm. Maybe some of you guys will go to your area beaches and the fireworks shows tomorrow and next day because there are quite a few of them going on, and a lot of the beach parties are family reunions and all of those good things that will be going on. And may God bless you all to have a wonderful time with the family members that you haven't saw, if you're going to be seeing one that you haven't saw in a long time. Hope y'all be all blessed to be together again and enjoy each other and enjoy the day and enjoy everything that's around you because we never know when this is the last time we might be together with your family members. So just try to make the best of whatever we're going to do right now. That's what I tell everybody, even myself. I remind myself, make the best of each day, each hour, every minute, every second of every day, and knowing that God has provided you guys have been to be together one more time in the holiday seasons or just one more time during the year or whatever. Because like I said, we had a couple of years that were pretty tough, and now God let us come back to enjoy your family again. So that's a very rewarding thing to know that we can come back and kind of remain there in, with the ones that we have. If you have grief in a family, you know that God it will make a way and has grown, but let you enjoy the ones that we have here today. And other God has already took up, and He knows that He sits high, but He looks low. And enjoy what we have right now at this particular moment. And I know it's hard to get over different things. There's so much going on, and this week we've had lots of things have gone on. And I just say everybody pray for everybody that has lost loved ones this particular week, because there has been a lot of things going down this week, that a lot of tragedies and things that has happened. So just tell God thank you for what we have and what we have left, and whatever God has planned for us. Let us try to just enjoy one another and be happy, and don't let Satan come in and destroy your happiness and your peace together. Just have a full cooperation one to another, and just know that God is still in the midst of us all, regardless of whatever is going down right now.
Miss Karen said, Amen, that's true. God made us to fellowship, and it would be good to see family enjoying themselves in the midst of the pandemic. Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
So we're just here to enjoy each other right now. And, try not to get angry. Try to be happy. If someone says something that upset you, kind of bypass it and don't go back to it. And just, ask God to help you to control the circumstances and things that surround you that might be going on that will hurt somebody's feelings. Because I'd rather have my feelings hurt than to hurt someone else at this day and time. Because people are so easily now to get hurt by words, and words is really bad. Will cut you in two, and sometimes you don't realize that word is cutting you. But just one little word can cut a person down, and just try to think about it. And if you do say it, ask the person to forgive you. That's all. And just like God, He forgives us all. And I do know if you ask the person to forgive you, you are already forgiven by God. So I always think about that. We might hate the feeling of someone, but we don't want to feel like we're hurting someone. And I'd rather be hurt myself than hurt someone. So
Dee said people don't understand words or spells, and this is why it's very important to be careful what you say to your children.
yeah,
That's true. That is so true.
it is. It is very, very true. And a lot of times you really get angry with the kids. I get angry with my grandkids too sometimes. But sometimes you may say things that you shouldn't say to them. But then I know myself, I'm guilty of that. But I will call them to the attention later on when it comes to me, and I will say what I said before. It hurt me to say it, but I wanted you to listen to what I'm saying, and you wasn't paying me any attention. So therefore, I'm asking you, if I hurt your feeling, tell me, how did I hurt your feeling, and what do I need to do to for you to make it all right with Granny? And then I might just hug your neck and say, I'm very sorry, because I don't care if it's a kid, an adult. It's always be able to say, I'm sorry, because that word hurt, that word, I'm sorry, that means that down the line, wherever you hurt them, that word will come back and they can forgive you, because they might not remember it right then, but it doesn't take long for children to forget words. If you'll tell them and come to them and hug them neck and just tell them that I'm sorry that I hurt you, and I try not to do it again. If I do, come and tell me. That's all I want you to do. Because I am, like I said, I'm very guilty of doing it myself. Because anger hits in very fast, and you can say the wrong thing to children as well as adults. But I try to remember not to speak too fast. But sometimes you speak real fast, because that thing will hit, bam, just like that. So, but I try to control what I don't control. But I do take time and ask God to help me to control myself in my mouth. And I know I need controlling. But what God does for me, when I feel like I'm out of control, God always puts a song in my mouth to get me back in control. And whatever song He gives me, I go on with it, and I keep singing to myself until I put myself back in control. and then I'm in control, and I can go sit down, and I know that God has already worked it out because I've got the song that I have to sing in order to keep myself in control. And I feel very comfortable because I've already asked for forgiveness and I've already received it. Because I feel like as soon as I ask God to forgive me, He does forgive me. And I go
They
on with my life.
they say yes, I'm guilty of as well. I try not to run people off because of my illness, but I tell people not to provoke others to be disrespectful. So true.
Yeah. So it's quick to do it. I mean, it's quick. And like I tell people, I don't mind because I know what I am and I know I'm guilty of different things that I wish I wasn't guilty of. But, we're only human, so this is going to happen.
Grandmama said she need to control hers too, especially with her husband.
Yeah. Well, we all do. It's just something that it just happens and you have to stop and think about it. And I'll go somewhere and I'll go up to my room and I'll just sit down and say, God, show me what I need to do
Come here, Simone.
to get myself together.
Yeah, we all guilty of that. I'm
And
guilty.
so once He showed me what I need to do to get myself together, I try to remember.
Somebody outside?
No, I'm just looking at them doing whatever fire,
Mm.
cutting out something with the torch.
Turn it down a little bit.
So I just be forgiven, for
To let them
the things
down.
that I be doing. But like I said, it is really hard because I can tell you, I don't care if
All the way.
somebody will make you angry. And it's hard to say, at the particular time, there has been days that I didn't want to say, will you forgive me. But then as I think about it, sometimes I've gone back. I can remember years ago, I would say things that I knew, but it was what I was saying was correct to the people that I was saying it to. But I could have used different words instead of using the words that I did use. It was kind of a harsh feeling to them. And then when I thought about it, I said, now, if somebody said that to me, how would I feel? Then I would go back, maybe a friend, I'd call them back and tell them, I'm very sorry if I said something to make it go wrong.
Dee said, yeah, men especially don't understand that women go through hormonal changes, and when we go through that, our attitude is off balance.
It is. It really is. It is, and I say this too. And a lot of times, as you get older, things would come off your mind, and you will say what you feel like saying before you think you've already said it. And but you don't really mean anything. But it's just there. And this is a true saying, and it's a true feeling. And if people could accept life as it is, we would be a lot better off today. But it's not easy to do it. I'll say that. And sometimes people will try you and keep trying you, and when they do keep trying you, you really got to work it out, and you really got to sit down and tell them that don't try me anymore.
Right.
But you tell them in a nice way sometimes.
No, now you say don't try me, try Jesus.
Say what?
Now you say don't try me, try Jesus.
Well, they can say don't try me, try Jesus too. But when you say that, sometimes when you tell don't try me, try Jesus, and they say, well, if you trying Jesus, why are you trying me? But it's just vice versa, back and forth. So you have to be even saying that to them about don't try me, try Jesus. You had another controversy coming up because we're back into a religious type thing, and sometimes you can't even do that. You have to just kind of just put it down and close your mouth. That's it, and not say anything else at that particular time. Later on, come back. It might be sometimes it can be months, it can be days, it can be weeks.
I tell them kids all the time, don't try me, try Jesus.
Yeah.
D said, men always want a woman to be perfect all day, every day, but it's all right for them to have flaws. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. They want you to be a size 2, big titties, big butt, little waist, pretty face. Don't want you to gain an ounce most of the time. They do. They leave you for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Men do want you to be perfect. Not all men, but it is men out here that do want you to be perfect. I want you to stay perfect and stuff. I remember years ago I had a friend, she was small. She was small already. She was a size 3. She had a baby, got to a size 6. Her husband wore her death, told her she was too big. I'm like, how's a size 6 too big? But she had to lose weight and go back down to a size 3 because he did not want her to be a size 6. And I just thought that was the craziest thing. And she looked so much better as a size 6. But you're right. Men want a lot of men do want their woman to be perfect all day, every day. But it's all right for them to have flaws.
Well, like I said, we're all we're all only human, and there are some things that we can't have. We don't have a lot of control over, so we just have to sit down and close our mouth and
Yeah.
do the best.
And you like me, D. I'm definitely not a small girl. I'm big, and I know I'm big. So, and trust me, men feel like they can say anything to you because you are a large size. You're not small. They feel like they can say anything to you, and you're supposed to be like, okay, you know. And it's sad, but it's sad the truth.
Well, that's some of the problems I don't guess I've ever really had those kind of problems, but I have different kinds of problems. So,
Yeah, but
but everybody got some kind.
yeah, but it's just like she was saying though. That's how most men are. Not all men, but a lot of men like that. They want you to be perfect. They want you to be perfect, and there's no such thing as perfect. No man is perfect. No woman is perfect. So I don't know how they want you to be so perfect.
Yep, it's so true. It's
Hmm.
nothing as simple as that. So that's the way it goes.
And they will tell you too. Oh, you're so pretty. Just think if you lose some weight. What do that even supposed to even mean?
A lot of things go down that shouldn't go down,
Yeah.
but it goes down anyway. So you try to do your best to change it, but sometimes it doesn't always change.
Leach Malone said, not at all. And grandmama said, yeah, that's where I get in trouble with my mouth. Yeah, sometimes with we as women though, we have to have mouths sometimes because, people feel like they can say anything to us and it's okay. And we supposed to sit there and be the happy, doleful woman, no matter what the men say to us. And like I keep saying, not all men, because there's some good men out here that truly respect you, your size, your weight, how you look, and everything is never gonna a bad word about you ever gonna come out their mouth. But then you have those buttholes out here that ain't nothing at all can be good about.
Yeah.
Grandma say, no, it's not okay. Yes, not. That's right, Grandmama. It's not okay. So sometimes you just have to stand up for yourself too. And then when you stand up for yourself, then people put you in the category of a mad black woman. These I know a lot of men down here want you to be a yes woman and a woman that looks like Beyonce and Cardi B and Megan the Stallion, not even realize these are men in women clothes.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So true. But
You're
they're
right
not
about
gonna
that.
always be that way.
If we not all God didn't make us all to look like Beyonce and be shaped like Beyonce and Carla B got a lot of plastic surgery. And Megan Thee Stallion, a lot of them is paying to have BBLs and tits and all of that stuff. I got it naturally, so but it's just a lot of men don't accept you might have it naturally, But they don't want the belly, they don't want the back fat, the rolls and all of that. They just want you to be a perfect Barbie doll woman. Not
Yep.
gonna happen.
Barbie dolls. That's what they want. That Barbie dolls. So, but if it got one end, the other end you might not have. Cause you might have that. You may not have the legs. You may not have the thighs. You may not have the hair. You might not have may have the face, and I don't know. Something simple. It's not very easy to even, to talk about it or maintain it. But I mean, those things I came up on because I do know this. I will. I have, like I said, a lot of times I don't have anybody that I really talk a lot to, unless it's a lot of the kids. And sometimes I have a couple of friends. We be talking, and I might, she might say something that's not, that's really not necessary because maybe I've had a bad day, or maybe she's had a bad day, or maybe they've had a bad day, and then we both might say something to each other, but we always find some type of way to correct it. If not that day, maybe later that night, or maybe the next day. But we always usually find a way to correct it. Because I don't like to go to bed with anger from what I've said to somebody. And I do know, I remember we used to have a song, and we sing after we leave school every day. If I wounded any soul today, ask God to forgive us. And that was when I was in elementary school. And we always sung that song at the end of the day. If I wounded any soul today, ask God to forgive us before we leave the classroom. And I was just wondering, during those times back in the when I was in the first grade in the 40s, uh, I do remember singing those songs, and we did, and I don't think I think everybody was, when we got to our classroom, like the kids were happier. They may not have had anything either. There were a lot of them that was really didn't have a lot of, you know. I was a fortunate one because at the time I had 5 or 6 grandmothers, and I wasn't lacking for anything. And a lot of them didn't even have a grandmother, or maybe just have I had a mother, doing the best she could do. But I can still say that most of the time I can remember the first, second, and third grade. All those kids seemed to be happy because one thing about it, we had the teachers at that time also, and they would do little things for the kids to keep them to make them happy if they wasn't happy. And chocolate Capricorn.
Yeah. These also tell men that think like that. Well, you cannot hate your father for leaving your mom because she did not look like the ideal woman anymore. I know that's right, D. And Chocolate Capricorn said, "Hey, y'all,
Hi, girl. Hi, lady.
you so right about that, D."
Hope you're up to something good today. Miss Chocolate Capricorn. Hope you're good up to something. But anyway, like I said, the kids were much happier, and the teachers were much happier because they were standing with the kids, and they saw that the kids that wasn't happy and probably didn't have very much. They began to call them up and talk to them, and really had compassion for the other kids that didn't have much. And I noticed that they a lot of times they would come in the next day after they find out the kids' parents didn't do much. They would go by and visit them, and they would take them different things that they needed, and they would come back, and it was kind of a different time, but those kids would be happy later because some of them are really now on the line, which we did not know, and I did find out myself later on that some of those children were raised by their father and have a mother at the house. They had an older, had an aunt or somebody that was there, and sometimes they were just an older sister, and it was only the kids, and the kids were living, more or less by themselves. And we'd wonder, and I used to wonder why a lot of times the kids never came to school with no ribbons in their hair, and they wasn't too clean. They smelled like they'd been in the wet beds all night or whatever. But somebody got them ready to come to school. But I can say this: those teachers that we had a long time ago, they were really encouraging, and I really can say that I appreciated those teachers, and I appreciate them because I know I had some that would ask me uh, and they would say, "Lena, would you come here a minute to my desk?" And I would come, okay. But they realized that at the time, I had more than my share of what one person would have needed. And they asked me sometime, "Do you have something extra that you might not want that you can pass on to one of these children because they don't have a mother or they have somebody to take care and they don't have the finances?" Now this was way back in the 40s, but I was always blessed, and even in those days, that God blessed and He looked after me because I had more than my share of what I needed. Clothes, shoes, I did not need. I had things that other kids did not have. And I'm thankful because I wasn't a person that was that would talk about somebody else because they didn't have what I have. They may not have had a good pair of shoes, but I had like maybe 15 or 20 pair of shoes for one kid. And I would say, well, these shoes I'm not wearing. And so maybe the next day or two, I would kind of go through my clothes on the weekend, and I would take them to the teacher earlier in the morning, or else I would even have the teacher come by my house. And when they would come to my house, I would have this pack of clothes and shoes that I didn't want. I mean, I didn't say I didn't want them, but I wasn't wearing them anyway. So if she saw fit to give them to somebody, fine. But I never wanted her to tell the other children that these were my clothes that I give to somebody. And I never would have said, that dress that little girl has on belongs to me. I used to have that dress and I give it to her because I felt like this. These children didn't have anything. I didn't know and I didn't quite understand, but I wanted them to have something to look nice on. And I wanted them to be clean like I was. And I found out that most of those kids that she would come by every time I tell her that I had clothes that I wasn't wearing anymore, then I either, if I want them, if I was saying I was going to wear them anymore, I said, well, I got a whole lot here. Let's just give some away. But I still didn't want the children to know that these were my clothes because I didn't want other children to say, she's giving all these little children that ain't got nothing in her clothes. But I didn't even want them to know it. But I know one girl one day, she said, I thought I saw you with a dress on like that later. I said, oh, no, I don't have a dress like that. I did have the dress, but I didn't give it to the other little girl. But when I saw those children, how they came and how they looked, boy, it just made me thrilled to death to know that these pieces that I have here that I'm not even enjoying because I've got too many anyway. They are just so happy to have a nice, pretty dress on with a bow ribbon in their hair or whatever. And I looked at them and they were so overjoyed. It made me overjoyed for my days to come in weeks and months and later on. And I would always have these teachers to come by. And I said, if y'all got somebody in your classroom that needs some clothes, I share it because, like I said, I had 4 or 5 grandmothers, 2 or 3 aunts. Everybody bought for me. I had more than any one kid could have ever desired to have had. I don't mean they were bad clothes. They all had good ways to go. And I enjoyed seeing the other kids dress nice and look nice when I see them come to school. Because look like after I would give those children those clothes that I had, somebody always bought me more clothes. And I ended up with a lot more clothes than I even gave away. And some of those things I never ever got to wear. I kept giving, kept giving, kept giving. And I just said, come get some more, come get some more. And by the time I get it, I have 4 or 5 aunts or cousins or whatever. They buy me more. And I do some things I never worn, so but I was just like that. And it just it made my heart just really snap to find out how good a teacher was.
Miss D said, right, Miss Lena, like that to this day. I don't put people down because they don't have what I have, but always beat me up. But people always beat me up because I was heavy set and had a mom and dad that was still together. And Chocolate Capricorn said she came. I mean, oh, she talking to. D said all her fish died and made her sad because she had to buy more.
What?
Her fish died and made her sad and she had to buy more.
Oh, fish. Okay.
Yeah, she had to buy more fish. And then D said some people these days they don't want to help you get better and look better. They rather criticize and pick up on you before they help.
Guess what they do?
Before they help you, and that's sad. Yeah, that's so
that's
true.
What they do.
Yeah, that's so true.
And
but it still is people that will help people.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of people out here helping.
Yeah, I got a lot
you just
of people
don't realize how
today
many people
that,
is truly helping, been helping.
Yeah,
they just don't get recognized for helping. There's a lot of people out here that do help people though.
Yeah, they do.
They just don't. You just don't get recognized. There's so much bad stuff. Yeah. But they put some of the good stuff in the news, it'll be okay. But they put everything bad in the news. So
well, there's a good thing too. A few good things happen, but not a lot. Not a lot of things that's being told about, but there's still a lot going on. It's still good. But I just said that because when I'm thinking about how people have been let down so much because they didn't have certain things, that even come back to associating with the talking that I'm doing, is because people talked about people more than helping. They would talk about you, but I never ever wanted to talk about anybody. I never, and the same thing is having to go back to what we are just talking about. Although you all ended up talking about the men and the women, but these were like days when children was the same thing, and it comes up, and it started with me. And why I said that is because my feeling sometimes I get angry with my grandchildren, and that's how it's how I got on this subject anyway. And it did go back to anger, and it's a way of controlling your mouth in times you need to control. And so this is what I'm speaking of tonight, is time to control your own self. And I mean, I'm just saying it was then because children didn't control each other because they rather say, oh, she's nasty, she stink. Oh, look at her. But I always said this, and those children that the other kid talked about, I didn't want to talk about them. So I started to try to be friends with the ones that was, I don't care if they smell bad or whatever. I wanted to be friends because I didn't want them to feel like there are children that were left out because they didn't have things that they needed to have had as coming up, and they didn't have anybody to really see after them like they should have had. And so that put a care into me all my life. I've been the same way all the time. And if I see somebody that's in need, okay, I don't even know if you're in need or not. You may have more than I do. So if you do, it's fine. But I can help because I know this. What I'm doing is from my heart. And I have no objections to what I do. I have no thought of what I do because I have done what I wanted to do to help someone else that look like they are less fortunate than I am. May not have been, but it didn't matter to me because at the time, that was what I was, looked like that was what I was born to do. I was born to help others that didn't have help. I was born to see after people that didn't have things. I was born to take care of all of my older neighborhoods. And I went down, and those people were all senior citizens. They had no relatives. They had nothing. but I was like a family to them that was in need at any time. Yeah, better come pull that curtain down over there. I was in need at
Simone,
any time, and I was always there for all of the
Granny said, come
all
on.
the ladies and all the men. I don't care who they were that was in my neighborhood. I would always check them out, and I see people now, and I notice that when things are better, or when it's cold or when it's hot, check on your neighbor. But I was checking on my neighbors when I was 7, 8 years old. And I would go over there. How you doing today? Do you need some water? And it was hot at that time too, but it was a different kind of hot. But I always checked to see if they had food in their house, and they curtain over there, and to see if they had food in their house, and to see if they had water or fans or whatever they needed. And because I'd see them on the porch sometimes, and at that time I don't know, and they would sit around and they would have, even in a hot temperature, it might be 100 degrees, but it wasn't. We didn't have a lot of humidity then. It was like 100 degrees, but it was dry, and they could sit up on the blow fan, but you can't sit up on the blow fan now because the blow fan doesn't work for you anymore like it used to. It all it did was just make you hotter, and you try to cool off, and they sit up with a fan, and then they have a put ice. I used to see some, they would put an ice in a bucket or ice in a bowl out on the porch, and they would run in and get another thing of ice water because they used to have the ice man to come by and leave them 4 or 5 pounds of ice to put in them old refrigerator, these old frigidaires or whatever they call them. They didn't call them frigidaire, they called them ice box. Okay, that's what it was, an ice box, because you had to open the door and put a 20-pound bag of ice in, and you could have the man to split it for you in 4 ways, and he'd come back in 2 or 3 days to give you some more ice. Okay, so they would sit there on the porch with the ice in there and keep cool.
Dee said, yeah, I was like that too as a child. I used to always watch my neighbor's house to make sure nobody broke into it when I knew they went to work or out of town. I always cared for my neighbors. My grandmama told me to worry about myself, and I told her I don't know how to do that. I know, right, Dee? That's cute.
It's a lot to do. When you're caring about people and you have a compassion for people, you can't just care about yourself. You end up caring about everybody, and you do, and you find no faults in nobody. You just do it because I feel like God made a few to do this, but I see a new generation that's going to be coming along, and I've noticed a lot of children. If you all be watching the news, a lot of kids give up their birthday parties. I don't care what race or nationality is. They give up their birthday parties. They give up everything, and they go and they try to go and ask people to give them food, and only get their own little foundation. They start asking for shoes or clothes for kids that's less fortunate, and for the people that's sleeping on the street, they ask for blankets for them and ask for different things. And these are just children that's like 7, 8 years old, and this is all coming forth the last 2 or 3 years, and we have a whole new group of passionate kids that's growing up right now, which I am very glad of. I'm glad about it. I don't know how my kids would be, but these are kids that already have started a foundation and have got their parents to go out and to start putting in shoes, just ask people for things and start asking for things. And God has blessed them to receive. One little young man, he asked just for shoes for children, didn't have shoes to put on, tennis shoes. And people started doing it. And his mother got so many shoes and stuff in her garage, and they tried to sack them up and send them to children across America, out of the country, and then to the ones that was here in America that needed stuff. And that young man ended up with, I don't know how many. Last time I think his count, he had already collected, had donated and collected over 500,000 pair of shoes for children of all ages, and he was only like 7 years old. So it's a lot of passionate people out here right now. God is raising up a whole new army to take care of the people that's coming along now, no matter what you're doing. And it's a blessing for this to happen right now, because this is a due time that people really need to have the help that they're really looking out, and we do need these little folks coming up to have compassion for other people, because the generation we have a lost generation that came in between these 20s and the 20s and the 40s. That is a lost. It's almost a lost generation. But this generation is coming along now, and I'm gonna say they're from five up to 15, maybe 5 to 15 or 5 to 20. But now they are really on the verge of looking after other people and trying to see if they can help. If you are watching news every now and then, and almost every week, there is some kid that's being recognized for little bitty things that they are starting little foundations or little lemonade stands that sit out there, and they really donate that money. They don't keep the money. They donate it, and eventually they begin to set up on a foundation, and they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then on top of that, they end up with their own business already before they even finish school. And that is a blessing. So it's a work there.
D say yes, it is.
So it's just a big blessing all around. And I'm very thankful for those things that I recognize, even though I watch the news and I watch a lot of different things. But I'm really grateful, and I give all those children, and every time I see one, when I see one doing something like that, and I say, "Oh God, I thank you for raising that child up and keeping that child's mind on what he's doing, and let him be very successful in whatever it is that his mind is channeling in on. Keep him going successfully, and let nobody stop what he's trying to do. And God, keep your hands on him." I don't know who the kid is. May never see the kid in my life, but I know this: if I pray for that kid, when I see that kid on TV, he might be thousands and thousands of miles away, but I know success is going to come his way, because he's got an open heart and a compassionate spirit, and he's pulling it in with a smile. And God have to bless him, and God is blessing him, and he will keep on blessing him. So that's it. No, so I'm thinking, I'm just one thankful. I'm saying I've gotten totally off everything tonight to get into that point. Just, and that all had to do with I speak the wrong word at the wrong time, and I ask for forgiveness. But I've gone into compassionate from that to this and to that. But all of it, when it comes back, it all have to do with what your mouth is saying, and your thoughts in your heart is going around to apply for you. So everything that I have just said, it's like a little circle, and it's all coming together, and it all will fall together. And when you fall together, it doesn't seem right, but I know that it's right. Everything that I've said to you tonight is all falling into one little circle. From talking too much to anger, we need to maintain ourselves, to your husbands or your girlfriends or your boyfriends or whatever, your men friends, whatever. It all circles around back into this little circle of being compassionate, and keep your mouth to yourself and don't talk about others, but try to ask God to hold your mouth in time to keep peace around you. That's all I'm saying. And that's all it amounts to, is being peaceful in this time. And this is a time that there is so much misunderstanding in the world, and there's the peace that we need is just not here yet. But we have to keep on keeping on, so God can enter that peace into everybody's heart, that everybody will begin to have peace. It's not all about me. It's not all about you. It's about everybody. Continue to open up your heart to others. I didn't say give it all to others, but open up your heart to others, and let God, and always put God first. And he knows that everything's going to work out, because in this time, God is. And God will provide for each and every one of us. He's going to provide for everybody that don't have it. Those people that lay out there on the street at night. God is still providing somebody to give them a blanket, or give them a bottle of water, or give them a bottle of food, or do something for them. Okay? So this is the way it is, whether we like it or whether we don't. This is the world today. And this is the world that we have to live in. So we might as well know that this is what it is, and what it is, and what it is. So, you guys, it's getting late, and I'm gonna sign off.
Dee said, when I see kids on the street selling stuff, I support them and give them money, and just tell them to keep the item. I tell them to keep the item, to keep the encouragement, and keep God first. And Leach Malone said, "Amen." And Miss Karen says, "As always, I enjoyed you tonight. So glad I tuned in. Thank you for the nuggets of wisdom." And Miss Karen said, "Amen."
Okay. I appreciate it. I wasn't going that way. I don't know how I got off. I don't know how I got off on this subject that I got off on, but it's just something that comes up. And sometimes, you go one way, but God prepared you to go another way. And evidently, whatever I have done or said tonight, somebody evidently needed to hear what I had to say, because I had no idea that I was going to talk about nothing. I didn't even know what I'm way out from food and anything else and what I had started talking about tonight. So I've gotten way out of what I had thought I was going to do or even say. But I do know whenever I'm doing this and whenever I go off like that, God has something to do with it. And he has somebody that needed to hear what I had to say. And I'm hoping if it was somebody out there that's listening that has not been a subscriber to my channel, I have just come in to view it. Maybe if you feel like you need to join, subscribe, you can. If you don't, if you continue to tune in, maybe it will be a word said that will go to your heart. Because it's okay with me. Because God is my Savior. And he has filled me with the Spirit of God, with the Holy Spirit. And I do know that my blessings is always on the way. It may not come when I want them, and I really want them now. But I know one thing. God has never left me, and he's always been on time. And I do trust my own time, God, because I know everything that he has for me is out there for me. I don't know when I'm going to jump the rope, but I do know he gave me time in order to talk to the other people and get them together on some things that maybe they need to know or they need to hear. Okay?
Good night, Dee. She said, "Good night, guys. It's been a pleasure. I always enjoyed your all company and conversation."
What Dee been on, she been saying good night at 30 minutes ago.
I think she was telling somebody else.
Oh, okay.
All company and conversation, we need to have more because it really, truly helps me. I'm glad it helps you, Dee. We finna get ready to get off, too, because it's way after 9, and it's time for us to get off.
Yeah, it's time for me to get off because I'm still hungry. And so I know it's time for me to, it's too late to eat tonight. So, because I was going to eat a barbecue chopped beef sandwich, but she bought a pizza in here. It was cold and I think it's just right up in my chest right now. So I need to go get me a cold drink and get me a burp to get it down or either something for gas. But anyway, I love all you guys and I love you, and I hope you all have a real nice, safe holiday weekend. And everybody be blessed with your families and your friends, whatever or whoever you plan on doing it with. Because I do know God is sitting high, he looks low. And I love you all. And I'm from Miss Lena's Kitchen. So here I'm going to go. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me all along this tedious journey. I want my Jesus to walk with me. I said, speak, Lord, speak right now to everybody in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. I said, a good night from Miss Lena's kitchen with all my love. Don't forget to have God to walk with us and drive with us and speak to us as we go through this holiday weekend. Thank you. Good night and goodbye to all. Good night.